Hey guys, so I'm finally back on YouTube. It's been a long time since I've posted. This is only my third video, but I thought it'd be a really good one to post on YouTube because I have a feeling this is gonna be a long one. Testimony is a word that you hear all the time in the Christian community, and I think a lot of people don't actually even know what a testimony is, so let's start there. A testimony is essentially how you came to know God, how you came to follow Christ. It is your journey, your story with God, and how you got to where you are. Let's start from the very beginning. I was born into a Christian family. We went to church. I went to Vacation Bible School. I went to Awana. God was just immediately in my life. My parents definitely emphasized the importance of God in our life, but at the same time, as we got older and we started getting into sports and activities and wanting to hang out with our friends and things like that, they kind of were more lax on things. I think I was always a believer. I always believed that there was a God, just didn't know who God was, and I had no relationship with God. When I became a teenager, I started questioning God a lot, actually. Had a lot of anxiety, I had depression, I had suicidal thoughts. I was 100% a follower. I was not a leader. I just wanted to fit in. I was super insecure about what other people would think about me, so I just followed what everyone else was doing. In middle school, I was very mean. I was very hateful. When I think back at that time, I just think that girl was, she was hurting. I want to cry. She was hurting and she was very mean. She was mean to her family. She was mean to people at school. When I got to high school, I learned that not many people liked me or my friends, and that really bothered me. There's this lady at our church, and she had the kindest heart ever, and when she would speak, you just felt her love in her heart, and you felt to her spirit all the time. And I always remember looking at her and being like, I want to be like you. At one point, I could barely even swallow my food because of how bad my anxiety was. I didn't leave the house. At this time, my friends started partying and drinking and things like that. And at the time, they didn't really understand why I wasn't doing it. And to me, I think I wanted to do those things with them, but I had such terrible anxiety that I could not leave the house. So I didn't start drinking and partying until I was about 17, when my anxiety kind of leveled out and that wasn't such a big factor in my life anymore. I'm 17, never had kissed a boy, never dated anybody. And I was also very insecure about that. So my goal was, before I get to college, I need to kiss some boys. I started seeing this person. He had a girlfriend at the time. He told me he broke up with his girlfriend for me, which insecure Eden believed him. And he was like, I want to be your first kiss. And he was. Every time I hung out with him in a group setting because I was very scared to be alone with him. And then the first time I was alone with him, I was sexually assaulted by him. He did things that I asked him to not do to me and begged him to not do to me. After I was sexually assaulted, I got together with my ex-boyfriend, and we were together for 7 years. That relationship was up, down, all around wrong for me. I should have gotten out of that relationship a couple years into it and not stayed as long as I did. But again, I was very insecure in who I was. That relationship really kept me from becoming the woman I needed to be. I had so many feelings inside that I wanted to know who God was. I felt it in my spirit and I was craving it. But because of the person I was with, I kept ignoring that feeling because that wasn't something that he was feeling and that wasn't something that he was curious about. And I remember I would beg him to go to church with me and he wouldn't. He went, I think, maybe twice in our whole relationship. And that was something I wanted so badly. And I kept feeling like it's fine, like he'll come around, maybe I'm supposed to be in his life to change him, make him a believer, whatever it was. I am praying and I'm building a relationship with God, but like still super lukewarm, not really sure what I'm doing. At the end of the relationship, I remember I just kept feeling like this is not right. This is wrong. I don't want to live like this the rest of my life. And I remember I prayed to God and I said, please, God, like if this is not what you have for me, please make it clear. Please let me know. And the next day I woke up with the most anxiety I've ever had. I like wanted to throw up so bad. And I felt that every single day until we broke up, which was only like a couple weeks after. But every day I felt nauseous and anxious about this relationship. And when I got out of it, I felt so free. This is the first time I've been single as an adult. And boy, was I excited about that. Got on the dating apps right away. I had met someone, started seeing them. That ended. And I started posting on TikTok. I posted things that got me attention. I posted things that made me feel good about myself. And all of those things were very worldly. Those things were very flirty. And they are not the woman that God wanted me to be or called me to be. And unfortunately, a lot of people saw those videos. Struggling at this point with who I am, who God called me to be, and I'm extremely lost. I had a full identity crisis. I didn't know who I was. I was just doing what everyone else was doing, but it didn't feel right. And I was talking to all these guys for attention, affirmation, for my confidence. I was doing things with them physically, quickly. I made a lot of decisions that I regret, and there's a lot of things I wish I did not do. When you are living for your flesh and you are living a worldly life, those are the things that you do. Unfortunately, I made those choices. Kept dating guys that said that they were Christian. These guys believed in God, but not a single one of them acted like a man of God. In my mind, it was so much better than what I was dealing with in the past that I just made excuses for all of them. I'm living in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I am fully away from my family, fully away from my friends, and I had never felt so lonely in my entire life. I felt purposeless. I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I was doing hair at the time, and I just felt like this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I decided to get rid of all the guys in my life and delete all the apps and to isolate myself even more. And I decided to fall in love with God. I had hit this point in my life where it was like I could go down path A or path B, and path A would be drinking, sex, like partying, all this stuff. Or I could go down route B, which was work on myself, prepare myself for my husband, to become a wife, to become a mother, give my life to God, find my purpose. And to me, it was just obvious. And again, Eden years ago had been craving this. She had been wanting it so bad, but because of the people in her life, I kept ignoring it. So that feeling never went away. It's really crazy what God can do. And I tell you, I felt so insecure about myself. I felt like the only way I was worthy was if a man told me I was worthy. And I was so wrong. I was so wrong, and I was so naive, and I would like to say I was just stupid, but I didn't know any better. I did not know any better. When I tell you, I had a conversation with God and I told him, I want to change my life. I want to give it to you. I want to live a godly life. I want to be a Christian woman, and this is what I want to do. A spark lit underneath me. Everything had changed for me. When you give your life to God and you feel the Holy Spirit inside of you, you aren't going to go away from it. You're not going to go back, because I am happy. I am so happy. And I'm not happy because of the world. I'm not happy because of my husband. I'm not happy because of my pets. I'm happy because of the Lord. And the Lord fulfills me. The Lord fulfills my heart. And he changed me. He changed me. He changed me. He changed me. When God was in the picture and men started coming back into my life, it became very clear whether they were going to be in or out. God saved my life. He saved me. And none of us deserve it. None of us deserve his love. None of us deserve all the things that he gives to us. But without God, I would not be who I am today. And all the mistakes that I made, I'm so regretful. But she didn't know. She didn't know. She was young, she was naive, and she was so lost, and she was so hurt, and she just wanted to feel loved. And it breaks my heart because, had I just given my life to God, I would have felt that. But God gives us opportunity to learn and to grow, and God gives us a choice. He doesn't force us to do anything. He says, follow me, and you have a choice. People started noticing I was changing, and guys started realizing that they couldn't message me anymore, and I was gonna respond, and I started losing friendships, and I was okay with it, and I'm still okay with it. I'm okay with not having people in my life that aren't going in the same direction as me, because I have everything I need. I have God. That's the only thing I need. And the most beautiful part about that was when I met my husband, it was so different because yes, he made me feel loved, but it wasn't his love I was depending on. It was God's love. And that created such a healthy environment for him and I to love each other because we love the Lord more than we love each other. God's love is unmatched. There's nothing like it. And you get to come as you are. You get to reveal the person you are to him. And you get to just say, forgive me. I want to follow you. I give my life to you. And you are reborn. And I didn't know what that meant. The way I speak is different. The way I look is different. The things I find important are different. The people in my life are different. Everything in my life changed when I gave my life to God. I really want you guys to think about where you're at in your journey with God. And if you are in a lukewarm relationship with him. And you're going to know. You will know if you are in a lukewarm relationship with him because it's going to be clear. I was very afraid for a very long time of what people would think of me. And I was very scared to tell people that I was a Christian. And I was very scared to tell people that I'm a believer. And I didn't know how people were going to react. And the thing is, who cares? Who cares what anybody else in this world thinks? But God. God is the only one that matters. If you got through this whole thing, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe, like, do all those things. Please share. Thank you so much. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video.